Hi, my name's Rachel Andrews. Welcome to Everyday Athlete. On this week's video, I'm taking a look at whether or not it's okay to swim in a canal. Canals can often be quite busy with traffic. As you can see, we're on about here, but there's also one coming towards us from up there, and there's not much space for the boats to manoeuvre around, so there's certainly not very much space for other small craft or unexpected objects like swimmers in the water. Morning. Oh, he looks away. Canals are pretty steep-sided, so in terms of getting out on the bank on the side you'd want to get out, which would be the towpath side, they are quite difficult to get out. There aren't any steps, there aren't any easy outs. And if you were to get out on the opposite side, there's no towpath and you're onto private land, which could cause all sorts of issues. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's fuel on the top, so water quality can certainly be an issue in a canal, as well as bits of rubbish. Because the water doesn't move, it only moves when the locks are open or closed. Unlike a river, it's not a constant flowing water, so it has the opportunity to get all sorts of nasties just hanging in there. Apart from there not being great water quality in a canal for swimming in and it being difficult to get out, also canals are pretty shallow. Most of them are around 3 or 4 foot only, so probably only around about 1 metre to 1.20 meters deep, so not much cop for swimming in, and they're kind of lined with thick mud, so they are a funny kind of V shape as well, in that it's shallower by the bank and deeper where the boats pass in the middle. So in order to be able to actually get enough depth to swim, if you were going to choose to do so, then you'd need to be right out in the middle, and as we've seen, there seems to be plenty of traffic that goes past.
Fold, so you can do a reach over and a line, okay? So if they are in the middle, they can't swim, we have those places to get. Okay? A few things to note, once they're out.
Although on a sunny day it may seem tempting to get in and have a dip in a canal, really have a good think about the water quality, the lack of depth, and the difficulty you may have in getting back out. But not only that, it might well be that there's a bylaw against being able to swim there. The likelihood is you're not able to swim in the canal unless you're with an organised group or an unorganised event. Make sure you check the waterway if you are thinking of getting. But do think about the fact that if there is a canal, there's often a river nearby, and it might be that the river is a better option for you. We're just having a look here at one of the locks on the Kennet and Avon, and I've said before about the fact that the water quality is not great, and also that the depth isn't great, but if you come along to one of these and it's full, it looks pretty tempting because there's not a lot of movement when it's full. What would you say to someone who's thinking about swimming in a lock?
Well, mainly don't. There's loads of hidden risks around locks. First of all, even though it looks like there isn't any water moving, if you look down at the disturbed water, there is always water flowing through them, and that undercurrent that can sort of pull you down towards the bottom of the lock. Also, if you're in there and anyone starts operating the lock, you've got roughly about 40,000 gallons of water that are trying to move from either inside the lock to outside or outside to inside, and so you're either going to get pulled into the chambers where the water runs through underneath the side of the lock, or if you're in the turbulent water, it's so aerated, it's almost impossible for you to actually stay afloat in there.
Won't bother with that then. Yeah, I mean, so what are the steps there for? Why are they've got steps on either side? What's the point to them?
So the point for those is, if you're sort of, in the olden days bringing your boat in, most of the time you're likely to be sort of single-handed, and so they're for the workers of the boats to climb up onto the lock to operate the lock. They're still there now. A lot of boaters on the canals are single-handed, so they need to use them to get on and off the boat to be able to operate the lock. But they could be, if you were to fall in, they're an exit point. They're really slippery though, because they're obviously under this dirty water all the time, and not advised to have as a regular exit or entrance.
Well, that about solves it for me, I think. So, swimming in the canals. Well, from a swimming point of view, there is water there, but the water's not very clean. There's lots of hidden dangers. For example, the fact there's mud on the bottom, there could be debris that people have thrown into it. There's currents in and around locks. It's really not a great place to go for a swim, so if at all possible, avoid it unless it is an organised activity with a club or an actual event that's been organised, because that will have been properly safety checked. So for general purposes, stay out of the canals. You've still got the rivers, the lakes and the sea. Keep swimming safely. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video, and if you have, you'll give it a like, drop us a comment and consider subscribing to my channel by clicking on my face and dinging the little bell, and you'll know when the next one's out. And I'll see you next time. Bye!